I have a bit of a cold, so I sound a bit weird, so I apologise for that. I have my co-founder and colleague Tiago Matius is sitting there as well. And we are Sooqini, and Sooqini, very simply, is a reverse mobile marketplace. And by that we mean it's buyer-led, not seller-led. Most of the markets you go to, it's people trying to sell you something. Our place is where people want things. And we exist on smartphones and on the web. So the idea is that you need something you may not have with you right now. You need it by a certain time and in a certain place, and you're prepared to pay a certain amount of money for it. So you put your request onto Sooqini, and the other people who are on the system see that request, either because they're in the same geographical area as you, or because they've selected a keyword or a category that matches your request, and they'll see that, and they decide whether they want to serve it or not. It's very simple. So that's all that happens. We got the idea because Tiago is a tennis fan and also has been in the lucky position of working from home and wanted to play tennis one afternoon, and all of his friends and mates have real jobs. So couldn't find any of those guys. Thought, well, maybe I could go on Gumtree and post a request, but who knows when somebody will get back to you. And thought to himself, well, wouldn't it be a nice idea if I could find somebody to play tennis with? Or, in fact, more generally, people have that sort of problem. They need something or some service within a certain time, and there's no real obvious place to go and get that. And that's really where Sooqini started from. So if you imagine some of the use cases, so you are a busy professional and you have a partner in your life, and it's that partner's birthday, and you haven't bought anything. So what do? Because you've still got a couple of hours of work left at work. What you do is you go on Sooqini and you say, I want to buy flowers, and you put in the category of flowers. You say, in the details, I want a dozen roses, perhaps. You say, I'm prepared to pay £15, £20, whatever the number is you think is right. You say, I want it by this time, so let's say it's 6 p.m. in the evening, and I want it at this address. And on your smartphone you have GPS most likely, so you could either use the address where you are right now, maybe that's your work, or you could say another address, maybe it's a cafe near where you live, or maybe it's actually meet me at home, so whatever it might be. You post that use case, and then other people out there see that. Now those people who are out there, they may not be florists, they may be enterprising people who say, well, I know a florist around the corner, I can nip round and make a bit of money by doing this. So we have gone and looked for sellers in our marketplace who might be those small businesses, like a florist, like somebody who might mow your lawn or wash your car or be a mobile massage service, whatever it might be. And we have one of those, by the way. So you might be an intermediary. You might say, well, I know that McDonald's doesn't deliver in the UK. Yet there's a group of people working late and they fancy a burger, and some of those places are open until 2 a.m. So somebody out there said, I need 5 Big Macs and fries and milkshakes, and you say, I can do that, and I'll make £5 just by doing that. And oh, by the way, in the system as well, there's the ability for other people to see those orders in there and say, you know what, I wouldn't mind some food as well. And so if you're a provider, you might see 10 such orders on there and go fulfill them all in one go. So the opportunity there is to aggregate your orders and make more money. So we believe today in the UK that there are lots of people out there that have skills and talents and time that's being underutilized. And I don't have to tell you that the economy is pretty awful right now as well. So is there an opportunity out there for people who don't necessarily have either a full-time job or have some level of discretionary time? And I'm thinking there of homemakers, people like stay-at-home mums who often have lots of talents that aren't always used within the context of the home and may have time during the day to be able to go do something else. So all of those people could use Sooqini to make money. So that's really the whole way the thing works. There are multiple layers of other things that you can do with such a platform. Examples would include if you are a company and a company is trying to source large amounts of discrete pieces of data. So let's say, for example, that you're a big retailer, a supermarket chain. Every little bit helps, they say. So the idea would be that you want to find out what the prices are at your competitors' stores. Now, one way you could do that is by hiring a lot of people who go around and every day check the prices. Another way that you could do that is, there'll be lots of people who are on Sooqini who go to supermarkets because they need to buy food. And whilst they're there, would they like to make a couple of quid taking snaps of what the prices are of McVitie's or Persil or whatever it might be? Could you do that? Yes. And might one of those people be a tricky ASDA employee who's trying to fool you? Yes, but if you've got 15 people taking the snaps, then the chances are that it's actually been verified. Or alternatively, you might be somebody who's in an industry where you use vending machines. And hands up if anybody knows how many vending machines there are in the UK. And if anybody puts up their hand, they're a liar, because nobody knows how many vending machines there are in the UK. But somebody could find out if they had this sort of system whereby you could get access to thousands of people who, on their way to work, on their way to school, or whatever they're doing, take snaps of vending machines around the corner. They could also show you what's in the vending machines. So Sooqini allows you to take a picture, date and time stamp it, and of course GPS location as well, and then that information can go back. So this whole concept of big data is out there as a method, and we think that Sooqini could take advantage of it. Sooqini is also in the space that is very popular right now, called collaborative consumption. And probably, at least I'm sure some people here know what that is. Collaborative consumption, very simply, is access to something, a good or a service, as opposed to necessarily the ownership of something. So a good example in the UK, which is one of the pioneers, is Whipcar. Whipcar allows you to rent out your car to other people. And like the earlier presentation, we said, well, how do you deal with issues of trust and all those sorts of things? That's something that they're overcoming, and it takes time. But the point is that with something like a platform like Sooqini, if you need a power tool for a few hours, do you need to buy that, or do you need to go and rent it from a shop, or is there somebody in your trusted network who has that tool and could rent it to you or even lend it to you? Likewise, if you think about the sharing of things, or things that you have which you don't need anymore. Maybe you have this fabulous CD collection, every CD that BG's ever made, and for whatever reason your tastes now run to Santigold. Maybe you want to sell that, or maybe you want to rent that, maybe somebody else copies that for you, does something with that. So an opportunity to take the resources that are already out there and to reuse those and repurpose those, and to make some money doing it at the same time. So as a collaborative consumption platform, it's a way of being able to get to other people out there. We see it initially as being what we'd call a crowd play. So the idea is that all of us can be participants in the marketplace, and sometimes we're buyers because we need something, and sometimes we're sellers because we have some skill or talent or time that we can use. So I'm a fan of U2, but I don't really have the time to go and stand in the queue to buy the tickets, and often online I find I can't even get through. So could I get somebody else to go and stand in line and buy the tickets for me? Why not? Likewise, if I'm a company or a business and I have what they call ticking inventory, so I run a theatre, and at 5 minutes to 3 on the day of the matinee, if there is a seat that's unsold, that's money I've lost. Well, this is an opportunity to find out who's in your area and to see whether they might be interested in coming for the Phantom of the Opera. And by the way, with your network, you can see that Fred, your friend, has done that, and then you also have the opportunity to say, I'd like that too, and there's an opportunity to do group buying there as well. So let me actually just show you it rather than wittering on, and just give you an example of how it works. And hopefully all this wonderful